Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about antenna subsystem. That is the system of the design of antenna, how it is been working. So what it is consisting of. So this subsystem is consisting of the feed system, antenna reflector, mount, and the tracking system. So the antenna which is present near the station is consisting of these four things which are there, that is feed, reflector, mount, and tracking system. So the feed system is discussing in the below, which makes you to understand that the feed is consisting along with the reflector, where it is a radiating element which gets the electromagnetic waves. So these electromagnetic waves has the property of the element where it is suitable for transmission and the electromagnetic waves. The wave coming in and out from the earth station of the antennas for this communication is categorized in terms of two configurations. One is axis symmetric configuration, another one is asymmetric configuration. So when you go for this first one, axis symmetric configuration, this is having the primary axis of symmetrical manner with a reflector with respect to the reflector that we have. So we will show the below figure, which represents how the reflector is present and the primary feeding device which is acting as a reflector. That is the primary feed device is having some focal point of the parabolic reflector. So first we will see the diagram how we are having that. So this is the diagram which shows the axial or front feed. Okay, the axial or front feed antenna, which is consisting of a feed antenna. Okay, so you are having a reflector here, you can see with a red mark which is shown, right? With a red mark which is shown, you can see this is a reflector and this is your feed antenna. So what does this indicate is the feed antenna is propagating the radiation of the signals in all the directions of the reflector. In all the directions of the reflector, it is feeding the signals, and those are propagating towards all the directions, right? So this is an axis symmetric, which you can see nothing but the axis symmetric internally is consisting, the thing is Cassegrain. Okay, it is consisting of Cassegrain. So the dish which is there, which is nothing but the feed, which is having a single bounce. Okay, when the incoming reflecting of the dish surface to the focus in front of the dish where the antenna is located, when the dish is used to transmit, the antenna will transmit the waves towards the dish and bouncing of them to space. What does it indicate is the feed antenna has been propagating the electromagnetic wave of radiation. So this is going to the red color line which is shown as your parabolic reflector which you have, and that takes the signals, and those signals are propagated bounce, which is nothing but bounce, to the other sides of the all directions, right, to the other sides of all directions into the space. So this is the primary feed, how it is taking place. So the cascade which you have, so these will have many number of dishes. You can see here you are having one, and here you are having another one, two. That is nothing but this is a convex secondary reflector which you have. So here also you have a parabolic reflector. Previously we have seen it is relevantly a convex only. This is also a parabolic reflector. Other than that, we are having a convex secondary reflector. Okay. So what does it indicate is the primary thing of the feed antenna is the propagating the signals for the whole entire one direction of your secondary reflector. One direction of your secondary reflector, the entire signals are being given, and from them those are propagated to the sub reflectors. So this is nothing but it is located in the front of the dish to direct the waves, redirect the waves what we are having. So how it is propagating is the signals are being transmitting to the convex secondary reflector which we are having, which is shown as a red color line. Okay, the red color line of small convex which we are showing is saying you that the signals are given from the antenna to that convex reflector, and from there it is given to the parabolic reflector of your major reflector which you have. It is showing the parabolic reflector of major reflector that you have, and from there it is given to the space, right. This is called cascade. We are having a sub reflector, and from there it is given to the parabolic reflector, where these are given the signals of these electromagnetic waves to the space. That is cascade. So when you go for Grigoryan, Grigoryan is nothing but this is another way where you can have this reflector, secondary reflector, which is of a concave secondary reflector. Concave. Okay. Concave. You can see clearly the red line of the small one which is shown here is a concave secondary reflector. On the other side you have your parabolic reflector of major one, and this is the green one which shown is your feed antenna. So this is giving the signals to one way of your direction of the concave secondary reflector, from where these are propagating the signals to all the directions into the space. Okay, so these bounces the waves back to the towards the dish. This is the name dish is nothing but this is the reflector. The reflector is called as dish. Okay, so these are the three which comes under your axis symmetric. When you go for the second configuration, which is your asymmetric configuration, so in this we have offset or off axis feed. So what the main thing here is, in the previous axis symmetric configuration there is some reduction in the antenna efficiency, and there is an increase of the side lobes. Okay, why? Because when the feed antenna is given directly to your parabolic reflector, the signals are transmitted directly into the space. but when you are giving towards the secondary reflectors and it is passing the signals to the dishes what you have, it causes some reduction in the efficiency of the signals, where it may create some side lobes also. So the thing can be achieved to reduce the reduction of your blockage in terms of increasing side lobes is possible with this asymmetric configuration. So that is being done here. So that's why you are having here with a feed antenna and you are having a partial parabolic reflector. What does it indicate is, it is relevantly a partial parabolic reflector which you have here. So this way which helps you asymmetric configuration to operate the signals. So the antenna reflector is the next one to say about nothing but the parabolic reflector only, which is used near the earth stations. Earth stations are nothing but the ground station only, which is able to provide a high gain and focusing most of the time towards the feeding of radiating of the signals and receiving of the signals also. So large number of antennas system will at least use one reflector or at least one reflector. So these are some of the examples to show you, to say that the classification is being done in terms of the two ways of TV projecting of the signal transmissions. And also the earth station will vary the performance of the device and also the services requirement of the earth station, where the following parameters are looking after for the parabolic reflector. So what is the parameters that we look is, what is the size of reflector that we have, what is the focal length or the diameter ratio, what is the root mean square error of your sub reflector, root mean square error of your sub reflector with your main reflector. What does it indicate is, your sub reflector is your convex or concave reflectors with your main parabolic reflector what you have, and we will see the root mean square error value calculation of this as one of the parameter. And what is the accuracy of tracking the signals is possible with the help of this reflector, that we are also see as one of the parameter what we are having. And what is the mount? Mount is nothing but the types of mounts we have, the mount that we use, and the coverage requirement, what is the coverage area region. So whether it is able to cover the region of some spatial area either in terms of meters range or kilometers range, anything. And we will see how much the antenna is able to tolerate on the wind speed of variation, that is nothing but the climatic condition. The climatic conditions will be looking after as a wind speed variation. Okay, so those things come under picture of this. So most of the time the gain of the reflector which we are using is directly proportional to that of your antenna diameter. So the antenna diameter which you have is directly proportional to that of your gain. So antenna diameter is shows you what is the inclination angle of your antenna. Okay, it shows you the inclination angle of your antenna. So as per that, he has given the direct equation for the gain of the antenna. Okay, originally we will be derivating, but the derivation has been done, and he has given you the gain of the antenna, that is having the effective aperture area, which is the productivity of your efficiency, and the circumference of the area covered. So in a circle, if you cover only half part, some half of the area or something, so that is made you to identify. Okay, so these are the things give you the gain equations of parabolic antenna, and also the overall efficiency of the antennas are calculated, which are nothing but gives you the 7 things which we are seeing. Okay, the overall efficiency of the antenna is known in terms of the 7 factors that we are going to use, that is cross polarization. Cross polarization is nothing but different antennas are combined of different types to have the functionality of the signal transmissions from the satellite to that of the earth station. And spillover, diffraction, if the blockage, surface accuracy, phase area, illumination. So these are the things makes you to know that how the antenna subsystem is been operating. The next thing is about your antenna mount that we are having. These mounts are nothing but different types of earth station antennas are mounted, which is the azimuthal elevation mount and X and Y mount. So this mount is nothing but it is a primarily a vertical axis. Vertical axis, you know, no? Horizontal axis and vertical axis. So vertical axis of this is a main primary axis that we have. We'll be having on the like this vertical axis. So the rotation of this axis controls your azimuthal angle, and your horizontal angle, the horizontal axis is mounted to look after about your elevation angle, what we have. Okay, so this azimuth and elevation mount helps you to see the signals that we have, that is the vertical and the horizontal. This helps you to see how we are having the signals. So if you want to see that, we can see by taking that signals by drawing something to show you. Okay, we can see that. Okay, if you want like this, we can show you by taking the operation. So we will see a small diagram which we are going to draw. We will try to draw that, just the axis how we are having. Okay, we will see. So this is your vertical axis that you have. Okay, I am showing you. Okay, so this is your horizontal axis that we are having, right? So the signals that are present on this axis operation, so this vertical axis makes you to show you that it is azimuthal angle. Okay, it makes you to show you azimuthal angle, and the horizontal axis will help you to show you elevation. Okay, oh, it's getting there. Okay, elevation angle. So you will have the electromagnetic wave in the space occupied that is shown here. It will be showing you, but the axis of this will be helping you to show the vertical axis with azimuthal, and the elevation angle is of that you are with the horizontal that we have. Okay, so that is your azimuth elevation mount, that is one antenna mount. Another one is your X and Y mount, which is nothing but X is nothing but the horizontal primary axis, and Y is nothing but your secondary axis that we have for steering your antenna mounts. So input back off. The input back off is nothing but to reduce the intermodulation distortions. That is the operating point of TWT. TWT is nothing but traveling wave tube. Okay, it shifts the covering of the curve where the input power is been referred as the input back off. Input power is nothing but the signal which we are having. The electromagnetic signal which we are having is calculated in terms of power. So that power is given as an input signal if we consider as electromagnetic wave, then that is an input power and referred as a back off. So the difference will be seen in terms of decibels with that of the high carrier input at the operating point and the saturation input which is being required, which would be carried out in the signal carrying operation. Okay, the difference of the decibels are being seen clearly between the carrier input and the operating point at the saturation input. So this is the thing that we are seeing with the mount of the signals. Okay, so just we will see the thing about high power amplifiers in a short time period. We will take a small okay, we will take a small break. We will be looking after about high power amplifiers in a few minutes. Okay, thank you.